Welcome back to the podcast for founders by founders. This is the Uncommonality Podcast.
We are closing out the Big Pitch mini-series with the winner and queen herself, Alex McLeod of Parlay Finance. So Alex, congratulations, a little round of applause.
Aw, thank you.
And thank you for joining us today. If you guys know Alex, she did the little ice bath pitch with us as well, where she got in the ice bath like a champ and answered some questions. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It was the most unique podcast interview I've ever done. So
Beautiful.
now you have to top it.
Exactly.
We'll try our best.
We'll try our best. So Alex, for our viewers and for those tuning in, give us a little background as to who you are and what Parlay Finance is in the first place.
Sweet. So I am the founder and CEO of Parlay Finance. What we do is we work with banks and credit unions across the country to get more small businesses approved for loans. Our software, I like to say, is like the Hogwarts sorting hat for small businesses. We make it easy for them to figure out what loan product they're a good fit for. And our mission is to enable more small businesses to get access to capital that they deserve.
How did you get into this space in the first place?
Yeah, so this is the third social impact venture I've been a part of. A couple of previous ones had to do with enabling access to upskilling and jobs for people from underserved and kind of uncommon backgrounds. So people who had been formerly incarcerated, people who were immigrants or came from a refugee background. And by virtue of that work, a couple of years back, I got pulled into an effort to help some amazing women who were evacuated from Afghanistan get connected with microloans because they wanted to start businesses. So there was a credit union that said, hey, can you help us? This is a very strange ask. Does anyone know how to support? And we did. And so from that work, we basically learned how hard it is for lenders and borrowers to communicate and collaborate. It's not easy. It's not fun. People dread applying for a loan. And the lender on the other side, they're trying to help, but if you don't give them the documents and the information, they can't do anything. And so you basically end up in this standoff. And that's why we call the company Parlay, because we're like, okay, it's uncomfortable, but we can make it easier. And the other kind of meaning of the name Parlay is to speak. And so our goal is to make it easier for small businesses to translate their value to lenders and for lenders to serve their customers, the small business on the other side.
That's amazing. Yeah. So by lenders, is it specifically banks? Are you dealing with individual lenders, lending companies? Like who are the players that involved? Because you're saying these things and my mind's firing in terms of those relationships of like, well, if it's a bank, there's so many regulations that even if they want to help, there's certain like, it's just a disconnect.
Yeah. So our primary kind of target customer is a community bank or a credit union. But we also work with CDFIs, so community development financial institutions, who kind of serve those small businesses who need a lot more help and a wider credit box than a bank might be able to serve. We specialize, our beachhead is in a really niche type of lending called SBA lending, which is a really good loan product for the small business. It's called the No Credit Elsewhere program. It means like you're a small business who's going to have a hard time and you need a good product. But the documentation is really hard. It takes ages. It could take 6 months to get a loan. And so not many people actually do it because it's difficult. So we try and make that easy. And in so doing, we actually create a data set that lenders can use and benefit from so that they can lend to more small businesses who are currently not really like visible in the ecosystem right now.
That's great. You said this is your third or fourth venture in like the social impact space.
Yeah.
Talk us through you personally, how you ended up going down this route at all.
Yeah. Very randomly. So my first 2 degrees were in languages, modern languages. And I think the reason I love startups is because I like building stuff. And so really early on, I got that bug. Somebody asked me to help build a business plan. And then one thing led to another and I helped to build the company, right? Because like once you start, you just can't stop. And I just really love building good things that help people. And so for me, like at the end of the day, if we help and if we can truly achieve our mission, then like that's success. I don't really care about the financial outcome on the other side because I believe that if we can truly do what we want to do, which is, you know, unlock $5 trillion in economic capacity in the US, which is a massive, crazy number, and which is the actual potential that is not being unleashed right now, then we're going to do good for the world.
That's amazing. Being an expert in this space, right? Something that I think we focus on a lot is what can these institutions do for the founders?
Yeah.
What is it that you find that the founders can do to best prepare themselves for the best chances of actually building these relationships?
I think there's a lot there. So one of the common mistakes that I see small businesses and entrepreneurs make is they think that it's as easy as just submitting an application and then getting an answer. And the problem is that only 1 in 5 small businesses, when they actually submit their application, are ready. There's work that has to be done before you can get to a yes. And so I think one of the key things that I try to tell entrepreneurs is, one, like, you should prepare yourself for a process that will probably take time. Even if we can get you answers quickly, you may not be ready right now. And that doesn't mean it's the end of the road. It just means it's not yet. And so our job as the software, I think I just smacked the mic, sorry. Our job is to make it as easy as possible for that small business to get the quick answer of whether they're ready now or not, and then get insights. If they are ready, great, move forwards. But if you're not, what can you do? Is there another opportunity, right? A second look, which we actually offer in our platform? Or do you need to go back and improve something first? And I think of that process kind of like athletes, right? Athletes know that to become excellent, there's a lot of work and you have to do a lot of process and you have to be committed to that process. And I think about, capital readiness, be that either on the debt side, through Parlay, or in venture too. Like, there's work that you have to do to be ready for that chance when you kind of hit the submit button. And we're trying to demystify that for small businesses.
That's amazing.
That's great. Looking at today, why we're here, Seed the South.
Yeah.
Talk us through what was going through your head pre-pitch, how you felt pitching, how you felt after, and then obviously we see what the result was, so we know how much you killed it. But talk us through the mindset behind it all.
And was the ice bath harder?
I think the ice bath was harder, actually.
So we're the reason why you won.
You primed me.
Okay,
That's right.
Especially because you had to do it twice since I messed up the video the first time.
You really tested me. You were like, does she have grit? Yeah. Hopefully we answered yes.
Yeah. We saw the vision. We were like, oh, we gotta get it ready. This is the one.
The experience was awesome. So I love pitching. I really like the opportunity to get better at communicating what we do. I used to think I was good at communicating, and then becoming a founder made me realize like what the 0.0001% like skill communication means. And so I see every pitch as an opportunity to get out there and get a rep. Sometimes it's great, awesome. And sometimes it's less great, and that's okay. And you can learn and you can improve. So I was excited. I got to meet some of the founders beforehand. Yeah. We did an ice bath together. So whoever was going to go out there and win, I was going to be happy for them. And I love that the way that the event is organized means that a lot of connections were made today. And, I'm really excited for all the founders. I think the ideas were awesome. They gave me a run for my money up there. I had to really crank out a good pitch because they set the bar really high.
I think that's something that's very important to highlight. A lot of people were saying the welcomeness and the community that was built around here, where even when everybody else was pitching, they just saw smiling faces towards them, and everybody was very attentive. So I think the community and for the event that they built was great because it's founder based with investors that's sprinkled in here and there. But everybody understands exactly where you're at and exactly where your head's at. And
that's right.
It seems like it was very supportive.
It was amazing. And I've got to tell you, we are 2.5 years into our journey with Parlay, and there have been many, many dark nights of the soul, right? Today's a highlight. I love it. I'm so happy. My team is really excited, but there are also many days and nights where you're like, oh God, why did I do this? Is this going to work? And so I think as part of that journey, like, we could not do it without other founders. Other founders have lifted me up. They've taken calls from me at night, panicking, not sure. Like, the first funding round we ever did, I had no idea what valuation to set for the money I was raising. And so I called friends being like, oh my God, what do I do? And got other founders to help me. And so I really hope that today, other founders got to benefit from each other's skills that way. I hope I was able to help some people. And I was totally enriched by meeting a bunch of awesome founders that we're definitely going to stay in touch. Yeah. And hopefully see each other at the next one.
I mean, being a founder, being an entrepreneur in general is a lonely process.
So lonely.
And I mean, that's part of the whole reason we started this, just to kind of shed some light on things that we all go through, even though we might be in different uncommon industries or uncommon lanes, we all kind of can relate to that.
Yes.
Right. So going down that vein, what is one uncommon practice, belief, or system that you've built over your career or life that our viewers can get some value out of, or that you credit a lot of your success to?
Okay. That's a really good question. So I think for me, until I started Parlay, and this is still a legacy mindset I have, I'm of the mindset of like, hey, build till it's good and then you can show people, has always been my starting point. And my co-founder, I've got two co-founders, but I've got one who's on the growth side and one who's on the tech side. And the one on the growth side, Jay, he is a build in public person. He is a like, no, ship it even when it's 1% ready. Whereas I'm like, but I'd like to hold on to it till it's 98% ready. And like, that does not work in startups. And so he has actually taught me over the last few years how important it is to build in public and tell people when things are going well and you've made progress, and tell people when things are not going well, because basically you need to teach them and help them understand how you work. People don't invest, like investors do not invest in dots, they invest in lines, right? Yes. They want to see how you're progressing. They want to see when there's an ask they can help with. They might not answer anything for 2 years and suddenly respond and go, hey, I'm at the same conference as you and I'm talking to a customer. Come meet me, or whatever it is. And so you just have to keep putting it out there. And even if it's messy and things fall flat, like we have published stuff in the past being like, we sold a contract, and then the next update be like, just kidding, it fell through, right? Like those real disappointments, being public about them is crucial. And I think the other piece of that is kind of related is I find a lot of my competitors keep things close hold. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to hold on to my designs, my ideas, our like secret sauce. And the secret is there is no secret sauce. In the beginning, it's all execution. So you may as well just tell everyone what you're doing, because then they'll have to compete with how you work anyway. And that's harder. And so one of the things that I've done that felt unnatural, and now we lean in a lot, is we tell customers how we do it. We give roadmaps of how we build stuff. We explain who our data partners are and what the objectives are that underpin our algorithms. Like we don't give them the source code, but I explain exactly how to do it. And if you want to try and come up against us, great. There's a massive problem that we're trying to solve. And if you want to come solve it with us, let's do it.
That's brilliant. I think there's a certain sense of public accountability to that too.
Yes.
Right. Because I'm on the same boat. I used to be the same way of like, I would hold things close, and then somewhere along the line, I kind of changed my view of like, I like when the pressure's on to be like, if I'm going to put it out there, I'm going to follow through with it. And if I don't,
it is an accountability thing. It is. Definitely.
So I relate to that tremendously.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the coin, the humanity aspect.
Yeah.
Where everybody can realize this is a real person doing a real thing with the same struggles as everybody else. And that's something that people want to support.
It's true. I've had founders call me and be like, oh, I had that problem you talked about a few months ago. How do you solve it? Right. So even if it's just putting it out there in the world for someone else when they have that problem to call you.
Yeah.
2 companies are now getting better, stronger, faster. And that's awesome.
So just for the viewers, can you explain by virtue of winning this, what's next?
Oh my goodness. So I mentioned our mission is to unlock the next $5 trillion in economic opportunity in the US. We're doing that by going, bank by bank, credit union by credit union right now, but we have big plans for growing through partnerships as our next step. So winning the check helps us invest in partnerships and basically get to build a flywheel of value on that front. And then I think we're going to the finals, so no pressure.
The
we're pretty excited.
World Cup,
Startup World Cup.
We're leveling up, to the next thing, and we're excited to represent the region. So it should be really fun.
We wish you the best of luck, Alex. Thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations with the win, because what you guys are doing, Parlay Finance, big stuff.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure getting to know you, honestly.